I'm Malika. I'm one of the managers at Mocha. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I'm Riley.
You want to take a seat? How are you today?
I'm doing very good. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there, doing all right. Almost time for a little bit of a break. Thank you for coming in today. As you know, we are a coffee company that is located here in Portland, and we offer delivery services to customers and businesses. And we're looking to hire a public relations director that will be responsible for creating kind of a presence in the community. And so the purpose of this interview is I'm just going to ask you a couple routine questions in order to assess your experience and skills and how you will meet our criteria in that way. I'll be taking some notes during the interview if you don't mind. Is that okay with you?
That's fine, man.
All right, wonderful. And then at the end, if you have any questions, just ask me and I'd be happy to kind of walk you through the rest of that. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself that kind of prepares you for this position?
Well, personally, for one of my classes here at the University of Portland, I had a class where we were told to design a web page for whatever we were interested in. And for me personally, it was basketball. So what I did was I got myself a video camera and I did a couple how-to videos. I called on some teammates to help me out with this. And basically, I got them to do an action related to basketball. And while they were doing that, I voiced over top of the action and explained why they were doing it and why it was an important basketball action. Another thing that I've done is I've worked with Jason Bro, who is the marketing director at University of Portland mainly for the athletics. It's him and Vega that do a lot of the work. And I interned for him one summer. And what I did with that internship for the summer was I recreated one of the surveys that they sent out to the pilot donors. And with the pilot donor survey, I inputted a bunch of skip questions to allow people who were taking the survey not answer the questions that were irrelevant to them. So before that question even came up, it would be skipped over if they answered any previous questions in the way that allowed them to skip over it.
Right. Wow, that's a really cool project. So we're doing an advertisement campaign. It's marketed towards 45 to 70-year-old people. And what form of social media do you think would best reach this audience and why?
45 to 75-year-old people. It would probably be between both Facebook and newspaper, because most of the people who are between the ages of 45 and 70 have kids who are on Facebook, and most of those parents like to get a Facebook account in order to keep tabs on their kids. And the other reason between why the newspaper is that newspaper is generally archaic for younger audiences, but for the older audiences, they like to have it delivered still, or they like to pick it up at their local coffee shop and take a look at it.
I really like what you said about kind of incorporating kids in that too, because you're almost pulling in a whole new demographic that we didn't even look at, so that's really great. So last month we made higher profits than projected, but the team is divided on how to spend it as a hypothetical question. So one person wants to hire another assistant, while another person wants to spend money on new video and editing equipment for advertising. How would you personally deal with this conflict?
I'd probably put it into the new video equipment, partially because if you hire another assistant, you don't know exactly what I don't know if you have a role exactly inputted for them. But with the new video equipment and everything else, you can automatically get set up and situated and put it to use and start to see returns on that. With new video equipment, you could hire someone cheaply to go out and survey around and video what's going on just outside Mocha, while someone inside could be using the higher tech equipment and showing exactly what the customer's experience is going to be like when they come into Mocha.
And then, so Mocha is introducing a decaffeinated sweet coffee option for winter months that we hope will draw in families and younger kids who maybe aren't going to want to drink the bitter coffee drinks. How would you coordinate a production of a commercial with an agency?
For the decaf coffee?
Yeah, for the sweeter coffee option. And sweet and decaf.
Sweet and decaf coffee.
Kid-friendly coffee.
We'll keep them up at night.
Yep.
How do I coordinate? Well, if you're going to be targeting the whole family. The best thing would actually be to showing the whole family, enjoying it, and even if it was available, to have some sort of coffee that tasted more like hot chocolate rather than coffee itself, because even myself, I find the taste of just coffee bitter. And as a young kid, I remember I didn't like the taste of it at all. However, when you added chocolate milk or hot chocolate to it, it kind of drowned out that flavor of the coffee and allowed it to be more sweet while still giving, you're still selling the coffee aspect of the drink.
And then from a commercial standpoint in that way, how would you coordinate production of that commercial? You mentioned that you wanted to kind of show a whole family, but how would you guys talk with the production people about that? How would you relay that vision?
I'd probably explain to them the essential of having a whole family present, or a group of people that look extremely similar, to give off the family ideals. And the main thing that we would want to see in the commercial is the family, coming in initially. Maybe the parents are a little tired, the kids have worn out from the day.
Yeah.
And they walk into the coffee shop, and the coffee shop is a little more brightly lit than the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Not too extreme, so you can still brighten it up throughout the shots. And then once they get that nice hot cup of coffee for themselves or coffee mixed drink for the kids, the shop brightens them up as they're drinking the coffee. That way telling the production team the essential of having the lightening of the scene at the important moments, because the stress is on the coffee and what it's going to do to the family. It's going to give the kids something nice either at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, and it's going to give the parents the pick-me-up that they need at the beginning, and that is essentially highlighted during the lighting of the scenes.
Awesome. How would you market our company as unique?
As a unique company, Mocha would be, it is difficult for Portland, but with Mocha, the main thing is you have Mocha as your title,
Mm-hmm.
as your company name, and Mocha is, as the picture shows, kind of like a locomotion thing. So what Mocha is really meant to do for you is to get you started and get you going, because when a locomotion train starts, it doesn't really stop very easily.
Right.
So with Mocha, I target that part of your company and say, with us, once you get your start to the day, you're going to power right through.
Yeah, I really like that. That's really kind of zoning in on kind of what we're trying to do as a company. And as you touched on, in Portland, there are a whole lot of coffee shops, but we really want to focus on individuality and kind of what makes us unique. So that was really great. Do you have any questions for me?
At the time, I cannot think of any. I'll email you if I do come up with any.
Wonderful. So then just some last bits of information. As a company, we're aiming to provide the freshest coffee we can to our customers and welcome them into a kind of friendly environment. We value community, and so we're trying to look for someone who embodies that. So if you're hired as the public relations director, you'll be expected to communicate effectively, verbally as well as in writing, and kind of demonstrate a range of organizational skills. You can expect to hear back from us within a week. And thank you for coming in today. It was really nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.